spring training, moving our thoughts to happier thoughts and not
Yes.
Jalen Ramsey. Um, I want to remind people to not take so much stock in spring training. I mean, uh, the first game that I'm going to talk about is a tie. Let's not get too up in arms about it. The main thing is storylines, right? So, uh, first game that we're going to go over, March 8th, Mariners at Dodgers. I say at, even though they're all in the same relative area. A tie, a 2-2 tie. Ooh, shocking. Our player of the game, outfielder Alberto Rodriguez, 1 hit, 1 run, 2 RBIs. Rodriguez came in as a pinch hitter and hit a 2-run homer to tie this game up. And then the game essentially ended after that. That is a thing they can do in spring training. Even they can cut the game short if both teams are like, hey, you guys want to just end it? Yeah, and then they'll just end the thing. Excuse me, they haven't really done that except for the tie here. March 9th versus Team Canada. This was before the World Baseball Classic knockout games. Well, the group stage games began. The Mariners beat Canada. So the Mariners are officially better at baseball than the entire country of Canada, I guess. A 5-3 score. Our player of the game, infielder Caden Polkovich, 1 hit, 1 run, 2 RBIs, a 2-run go-ahead homer. Ultimately proved to be the difference there as the Mariners beat Canada, or effectively it's just what happens when the Mariners play the Blue Jays here in Seattle. All of Canada comes, and it's basically you're playing Team Canada. March 10th versus the Cincinnati Reds. The Mariners destroyed the Reds 11-3 in that one. Our player of the game, catcher Tom Murphy, the Murph, 2 hits, 1 run, and 3 RBIs, including a solo homer on the day. We then roll over to March 11th at the Colorado Rockies. You can see there, I'm really smart, and I flipped the logos. So the Rockies are on the bottom, and the Rangers are on the top. March 11th at the Rockies, a 4-2 win. Our player of the game, catcher Cal Raleigh, 2 hits, 1 run, 1 RBI, and a triple for Big Dumper. A Big Dumper triple is not something I expected, but it happened. And then March 12th versus the Texas Rangers to close out the week. There's a game going on right now, but we can't give you the score of that because by the time this airs, it'll already have ended. The Mariners won the game against the Raiders 11-10. So look at this, Bell. How often does this happen that we have 3 catchers win player of the game in 3 respective days? Our player of the game, catcher Brian O'Keefe, 2 hits, 2 runs, and 4 RBIs. A monster day for O'Keefe, including a 3-run homer. Go over here quickly to, where'd it go? It's okay. I will dig it up. Our player of the week for this, again, this is all about storylines. And one of the interesting ones is catcher/outfielder Cooper Hummel. Hummel, 3 hits, 2 runs, 7 total bases, 3 RBIs, and 1 walk over the course of the past week's games, including a double and a homer. Quickly here before I let Belle get her piece for player of the week in. Again, at this point, especially, this is all about storylines. Jared Kelenic's been playing really well so far. Can he keep that up? Cooper Hummel is a guy that the Mariners acquired for Kyle Lewis in a one-on-one deal. And it was like, okay, you've not really done much. I know that the Brewers traded Hummel to Arizona a year before the Mariners acquired him. So it's like, okay, what do you really got? And Hummel hasn't really been quiet this spring. He's had a solid spring so far. So right now we're kind of seeing, especially with so many guys gone for the World Baseball Classic, like there's no Julio, there's no Gino, there's no Matt Brash was with Team Canada. So there's a bunch of guys who are out right now, Haggerty, Matt Festa. No, Haggerty's around. I lied. That's right. He was gonna, and then he didn't. You're looking at individual storylines, like what guys are going to remain on the bench for this Mariners team. There are a bunch of candidates. I want to see if I can actually find what the score is of this game right now, because they're playing against the Angels right now. They are tied. Oh, well, they're in the top of the first, and they're 0-0. So, but yeah, it's about storylines. Tommy Listello is a guy who missed a week due to a forearm injury, and now he's back in the lineup. So you're looking at, we kind of already have an idea of what's going to go on with the Mariners lineup to begin the year. It's just kind of about some of those guys who you're uncertain of. We're going to kind of see more of them and figure that out. Belle pointed out for her sort of player of the week, Great thing that Root Sports did in the game against the Rockies on the 11th. So, Belle, I'll let you discuss that a bit.
Yeah, so it is Women's History Month, and just days after International Women's Day, they did have an all-female broadcast team for the first time. So it was great to see those ladies do such a great job, and just looking forward to hopefully seeing more of that.
Yeah, and it was really cool. I mean, at least from the Mariners side of things, having Angie Mentek,
Mm-hmm.
Jen Mueller, well, Shannon wasn't on the broadcast, but I know she's around, and those are all women I look up to in this industry. Have all been really helpful and receptive when I've asked for tips, and stuff like that. When I've been around, Jen actually encouraged me to bother her more this year.
Yeah.
So we'll see that. But it was really cool to see that. Those are all very qualified women, and just journalists in general, just not even including the fact that they're women. So that was really cool to see that Root did that. And I know that there were some folks from the Rockies and the Astros, and a few other teams that joined for that broadcast. So that was really cool. And it was great to see that they could do that because, all those teams being in one spot for spring training. So really cool to see that. And I hope we can see something like that during the regular season. But again, with, different schedules and such, makes it a little bit hard. Please don't drop news while I'm doing anything. Okay. So the Mariners, as we head into the next week and one of the last weeks of spring training, have the slate continues here. They sit at an 8-6 spring training record, 9-6 if you include the Canada game, and 9-6-1, and if you include the tie in the Canada game. They'll play 7 games over the course of the next week. March 13th at the Angels, 1:10 p.m., which is happening right now. March 14th versus the Royals, 1:10 p.m. March 15th at the Athletics, 1:05. March 16th versus the Giants, 1:10. March 17th versus the Padres at 6:40 p.m. March 18th at the Cleveland Guardians, 6:05. And then March 19th is a split squad day for the Mariners, 1:05 p.m. at the Rangers. And then the other part of the group will play 1:10 versus the White Sox. So, there's that. That's kind of your slate here. And again, try not to focus as much on the end score, more so on the individual storylines, player by player wise, and how they're doing, and what they might be developing.